eternity. The way to celebrate.
I have delivered the missive about the meeting. Do you have any questions, Master Dan Heng?
I know all that I wish to know. Thank you, Miss Huanxi.
You need not address me as Miss. I am but one of Miss Bailu's maids. Then again, if I may be so bold as to make a humble request.
Go ahead.
Before this goes ahead... Oh, who might this be? I'm speaking with Master Dan Heng. I'm afraid this doesn't involve you. Please take your leave.
He is a close friend. I've invited him along to bear witness. Please, treat him as you would me. Now, what was your request?
Then I hope you don't plan on meeting with Miss Bailu. Please, hear what I have to say. I have good reason to be concerned. Perhaps you should know that Miss Bailu's path to becoming a High Elder was neither in compliance with proper protocol, nor of her own volition. Everything was a result of the stubbornness of her predecessor, Dan Feng. His hubris and tyranny brought about the end of the Luofu's High Elder succession. The preceptors heard of Master Dan Heng's return, and were uncertain whether it constituted good or ill fortune. However, many have surmised that the Luofu's High Elder succession tradition will soon be back in force. If true, that is indeed something worth celebrating. Whether we find another suitable candidate in accordance with the laws of our people, or have you take up the position anew, everything can still be mended. But if Master Dan Heng were to hand everything over to Miss Bailu, it could lead to great upheavals on the horizon. No good would come of it for her. Miss Bailu is young, naive, and easily manipulated by others. I worry that under the pressure of others, she would be convinced into taking up too great a burden.
I understand your concern, but I have nothing more to say on the matter at present.
Then I will bid my farewell. Master Dan Heng, whether you choose to meet Miss Bailu or go with me to see the Preceptor Elders, I will be waiting for you by the ferry leading to Scale Gorge Waterscape.
I haven't even set eyes on Bailu, and people are already urging me not to meet her. No need. March will find out sooner or later. You know that I'm a descendant of the Luofu Vidyadhara. In Scale Gorge Waterscape, you witnessed my secret strength, as March would call it. Yet that power stems from Dan Feng, my previous incarnation. He altered the process of High Elder succession, plunging everything into catastrophe. Ultimately, he suffered the punishment of molting rebirth. Based on the physiological principles of Vidyadhara reincarnation, I ought to have been an entirely new entity. And, in view of the law, all crimes from my previous incarnation should have been wiped clean. But in reality, I was locked up in the shackling prison at birth. Even after I was released and left the Xianzhou, my High Elder past and Dan Feng's enemies pursued me like a haunting shadow. Now, I plan to face that shadow. In order to make amends, I want to repair the Ambrosial Arbor's seal and visit the High Elder to see what more I can do. The star skiff is ready. Let's go.
The rumors are true. You really are back. I'm Hila Lu Ying of the Alchemy Commission. I'm a Vidyadhara too, as you can see. I'd heard the reincarnation of the great sinner has returned to the Luofu and wanted to offer some advice.
Oh?
Leave this troubled place immediately.
I'm not surprised in the slightest. What does the Alchemy Commission want then?
Return to being a nameless. Stay out of the High Elder succession. The Luofu Vidyadhara have finally recovered from Dan Feng's grievous sins, and were blessed with a compassionate and caring High Elder in Bailu. None of this was easy. Your return has stirred up resentment and ambition among the preceptors, and threatens our situation.
Look no further.
I have no intention of threatening Bailu's position.
You may have a clear conscience, but even so, as long as you remain on the Luofu, invisible forces will try to coerce you. Leave now. It is the best outcome for everyone involved. Do not repeat the mistakes of a past life in this one. Farewell.
Excuse me, are you two on your way to the Alchemy Commission, Delph?
Hello. What brings you two here? The wind and waves are restless around lunar-rescent depths today.
Even you came to dissuade me from visiting the High Elder, General?
This encounter was not of my making. I've been recuperating in the Alchemy Commission under the Dragon Lady's care. Our paths have merely crossed. But your question would suggest that there are others interested in dissuading you from such a venture. Matters that concern the rise and fall of the Vidyadhara will inevitably attract certain parties, those that would work circumstances to their advantage, be it Dan Feng, the Preceptors, or the Alchemy Commission that trained the Dragon Lady.
Your injury hasn't dulled your instincts, General. The Preceptors and the Commission seem deeply concerned.
A chance meeting is a gift from fate. Why don't I help you to fathom their intent, then? The power struggle between the Preceptors and their High Elder is a tale as old as time. And someone as powerful as Dan Feng, who was completely beyond their control, was enough for them to harbor a hidden rage. The Elders used to have a small say in appointing the new High Elder. Who could have imagined that Dan Feng would pick his own successor? And yet, that is precisely what happened, and all they could do was accept the result. Now that Dan Hong has arrived, the Elders see yet another chance. How could they let it go? Us outsiders should not judge the laws of the Vidyadhara. The Preceptors have been suppressed for some time now. They will inevitably try to overturn the situation. These people speak of legitimacy. They believe that Bai Lu was chosen as heir apparent by the previous High Elder, and that unless you were to commit a terrible sin, the Preceptors should have no right whatsoever to choose again. The healer lady has draconic features and scarcely believable therapeutic abilities. Some regard this as evidence that she is the High Elder, but the Preceptors are fixated on strength and are unwilling to accept her. Now that Don Feng's reincarnation has shown a command over the vast marine expanse of luminescent depths, those longing to keep the traditional bequeathal of the High Elder feel increasingly uneasy. After Don Feng's abdication, they fought against the Preceptors and saved Bai Lu's dignity. They demonstrated a true devotion. These folks aren't the type to just let it go. It is an internal affair of the Vidyadharas. As long as it does not disturb the peace aboard the Luofu, it does not involve the General of the Cloudlands. Nevertheless, as a friend, let me remind you of one thing. So long as Don Hong and Bai Lu, with their respective High Elder powers and titles, both remain on the Luofu, the Vidyadhara will never cease their internal strife. This is not to say that either of you are to blame. It's getting late. You are headed to repair the Arbor's seal at Scale Gorge Waterscape and visit the High Elder, no? Farewell for now. I should start taking this business of rest and recuperation a little more seriously. I must return to my quarters now. I merely took advantage of the healer's absence to slip out and relax a little. Be on your way.